Here we go.
And to our listening ears, old angel sings and round us rings the music of the spheres.
Brothers, sisters, siblings, welcome to Penn Sunday School, starring Penn Gillette. My name is Michael Ludo. Freddie Rich, Penn, and I are broadcasting from our separate homes in Las Vegas. On today's show, we got the Wizard of Lizards. He's the dean of all true dragons. It's Piff the Magic Dragon.
Hello.
Here he is, preaching love, Mr. Penn Gillette.
Oh, my goodness. During the break between Monday and Wednesday, which is 10 minutes, I had an everything bagel with vegan cream cheese and 3 glazed donuts and a glass of orange juice. Now, I don't drink anything other than water. So orange juice is a big treat for me. And I don't eat bagels. I don't eat vegan cream cheese. I don't eat donuts. But it's Father's Day. And on Father's Day and certain other holidays, I understand hangovers. You know, when you're a non-drinker, you say, how can people say, I know I'm going to feel really shitty tomorrow, and yet I'm still going to drink this stuff? It seems insane. But I know that the salt and sugar and fat is going to make me feel terrible, not even tomorrow, but later today, and I still eat it. Now, Piff, you have experience with hangovers, right?
Yes. One of the joys of giving up drinking is no more hangovers.
Were your hangovers bad?
Here's the thing about hangovers is that once I would get drunk, then I would go, oh no, now I'm drunk and there's nothing I can do about this and I'm going to feel progressively worse for 3 days. And that was the problem with it, because if it was like, you know, if you were kind of like going, oh, why do I feel bad for 3 days? Then, you know, like when you're ill, it's not self-inflicted. So you go, oh, I feel terrible. I can't wait until this end. And you feel like a martyr or some sort of like righteous person.
A hero, yeah.
Whereas when you have a hangover, you're just like, I did this to myself and I knew I was doing it. It's the worst.
Yeah, and it's not bacteria. It's not something attacking you and you fighting it back. It's poison.
Did you used to drink a lot, Godot?
Never been drunk.
Ready?
Nope.
Well, speaking as the voice of authority here.
You are.
Yeah, it was horrible, and it's the same. And like you say, it's being replaced with, if I have a big steak, then the next day I feel really bad. And last night I had a cupcake, even though I didn't really want to, and then I felt bad half an hour later. And what's that about? It's just like...
Is that peer pressure? Cupcake pressure?
Peer pressure for myself. It was there, and I knew it was, and it knew that I knew that it knew that I knew it was there.
It's amazing. I wish I could do this better. I am now completely vegan. I don't even desire anything that has animal products, but I can't bring that in to include vegan food that isn't healthy for me.
Right.
It's just a hard thing to do. So I'll eat like a pig today and it'll be fine.
Yeah, and then, but the good thing is, you'll feel bad for what, like, maybe like half a day tomorrow? It won't be like 3 days.
No, I won't.
So that's the other thing, is that a poor choice of food hangover is much quicker than and the other thing about drinking is that you can drink yourself out of a hangover, and then you're just starting the whole process again.
Oh, you can drink yourself out of a hangover?
Yeah, that's the hair of the dog. That's what they call it. And so you know, I would feel terrible and then start drinking and then go through a brief window of feeling back on form.
Now, when you drank, what was your beverage of choice?
Anything. It was anything. But when I would get sickest is on spirits, like cocktails. Like there was a thing called a French martini, and I would drink that, and after about 10 of those, I would start vomiting and wouldn't stop.
10?
Yeah, I was a messy drinker.
That's also $1,000, isn't it? 10 of those.
And that's the other thing. It's so everything about my drinking was not good for me. It was very expensive. I had a chronic pancreatitis, which is more reason than most to stop drinking. And it was there would be like £500 bar tabs.
Oh God!
I mean, even in Vegas, I would, when I wasn't drinking, I would go out with my friends to a club or something after the show, and the bar tab would be $2,000.
Holy moly!
I mean, can you
They'd
imagine?
say, let's split this evenly. And you'd say, I just had a glass of water.
Yeah, I know that's true. Yeah, I stopped going for a lot of dinners because of that. Because the dinner would get split. Would get split, and the alcohol would. I mean, it's brutal. Because the worst thing is that there's a whole thing. I was in Alcoholics Anonymous for a long time, and one of the things that they talk about is how to go to parties, because when you get drunk, then the passing of time gets very, very quick, and so what seems to you to be a 5-minute hilarious conversation to the sober participant is 3 hours of relentless torture. And so the only solution that they had for this was that you swan into the party after it's been going for an hour, you high-five everyone, and within 30 minutes you're gone.
Well, I went to high school during the time that nearly everyone was doing LSD.
Yeah.
And smoking marijuana and getting drunk and all at the same time. And I would go to parties and listen to people read me their poetry.
Right.
Talk about how the couch is made of threads. Do you understand that there are fabric threads in the couch? Do you understand that, Penn? And my way of solving this was to take notes.
Yes, but it's
the
a
next
different
day,
yeah.
I would tell them about it, and they would be embarrassed.
Right.
And what that led to was I was no longer invited to parties. So it solved everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's where my journey has taken me. That I'm no longer invited to parties, and I do a show every night, so I can't go anyway. But there are definitely different. Alcohol and cocaine are very boring stories, whereas, as you say, LSD and other substances tend to be a bit more enlightening.
It's to the person, not necessarily the person listening during it.
You know that they're going to make good stories the next day. Somebody vomiting on your shoe is not a good story to retell the next day.
The sky is open.
Right.
The sky is open. Yes, the sky is open. Yeah, doesn't close. It's open. Sky.
But that doesn't. But you're not concerned about that. The more somebody says that to you, the more you're still fine with that. Because when people keep saying to me, no, the sky is open, I do start going, that is a good point. That is a problem.
You said it 5 times, must be true.
Yeah. It's like when you look at a word, and the more you look at a word, the less it makes sense.
Yes, just go to nonsense. You talked about being involved in AA.
Yeah.
Now, what is the second word, the second A stand for?
Anonymous.
So why don't you talk about that anyway?
I am following a grand tradition. Well, first of all, I'm no longer involved in AA, which is why I'm mentioning it. But yes, many times I have seen people in certain media forms talk about their involvement in AA, and have been like, I'm pretty sure the whole point is that.
And they'll also talk about other people they met at AA.
Yeah, right.
Which I think is really funny.
It's a terrible
I saw
idea.
so-and-so at a meeting the other day. Was that meeting of the Grange? Was that the Hollywood Grange meeting where you talked about hoeing your potatoes?
And
what meeting was this?
And I like why it's supposed to be anonymous, is so that you don't, for example, if I was saying, and I'm still in Alcoholics Anonymous, people might be like saying, oh, Piff the Magic Dragon's in AA, I'm never going now. and so I like the thought behind it being anonymous.
Well, Martin Mull, as you know, one of my heroes, I was just given a very early copy of his memoirs that he's working on. And Martin Mull was rather notoriously a very, very bad drunk. He had quite an alcohol problem. And he tried AA, and Martin Mull has also been an outspoken atheist his whole life. And the higher power thing kind of was a tough thing for him. And he says in the book how he quit drinking, which is a wonderful story. He went to his doctor, and his doctor said, "Tell me frankly how much you're drinking." And Martin Mull told him, and it says in the book, but I don't know what a gallon of vodka is or how long it's supposed to go, but it was said in the book in a way that was supposed to be jaw-dropping how much he was drinking. I could tell that from the context. So he told the doctor that, and the doctor said, "And what are you going to do when you get home tonight after this doctor's appointment?" And Martin Mull said to him frankly, "Well, I'm going to have myself a nice glass of scotch, maybe a few." And the doctor said to him, "Martin, go home tonight, take your favorite glass, your favorite chair, your favorite lamp, take your favorite scotch, the stuff you've been saving, and pour yourself a nice big glass. And then pour yourself another and maybe another. And love every bit of it, every sip of it, because it's the last alcohol you'll have in your life." And Martin said, okay, went home, did that. That was the end of his drinking.
Wow. That's amazing.
But that doesn't what? But how? That, hang on a minute. There's so much missing from that. So why? How did he stop drinking?
He just stopped.
Oh, right. Okay. I had like 3 big drinking episodes that definitely told me that I should not be drinking anymore. And I don't even want to. I'm not even going to tell you them, because the problem with drinking stories is they end up being half bragging. You know, like they tend to be like, "Oh, sorry, not sorry."
Yep.
But after those 3, I was like, okay, I really, this is becoming a problem. And then it was on my birthday, and I had a glass of wine, and then I took 1 sip from my second glass of wine, and on that sip, I thought, oh, I should call my ex-girlfriend up. And that relationship was, I think it was about 4 or 5 of the worst years of my life. It was horrific. Everyone around me knew how bad it was. And eventually I understood. And just that 1 sip, and I was like, oh, I've got a good idea. And that was what stopped me drinking. I realized that it wasn't being drunk that was the issue. It was the quote-unquote bright ideas I had on that second glass that were going to destroy my life. And that was what did it.
Anything that makes you want to call an ex-girlfriend is probably a bad thing for you.
Anything.
Even a present girlfriend. That makes you want to...
Yeah. It's so bizarre that, you just go, oh, well, I'm sure that ended amicably.
Isn't it Jerry Seinfeld that says it's like having spoiled milk in the refrigerator and going, maybe it's okay today?
Right, exactly, yeah. Maybe it's gone round the other side. Yeah.
So we don't know yet whether you won or not on Tournament of Laughs.
We don't know. We don't know whether I...
Not today.
What?
You know what I mean? It's Wednesday now, so
Right,
we don't
that's
know
what I mean.
what happened Sunday night.
So yes, on last Sunday, from 10 p.m. Eastern Time to 10 a.m. Eastern Time, there was a 12-hour window which people could vote for me versus Drew the Freelander. And if they did, then right now, I'm probably crying somewhere because I have to make another video in 4 days. But the good news is that means that we will be showing my video, which has a cameo from David Copperfield in it.
Who was very funny. Very funny.
Very funny. And if I didn't win, that video will never be seen.
And I've seen it, and it's good.
And it's good. It's funny.
That'd be
So
a sad thing for the world.
if there is a reason to invent time travel, if there was, something, if there was a tipping point and we're approaching it, hopefully this is going to push it over.
Now, you don't know this, Piff, but last week, Godot explained about his son's legacy drives.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell Piff about your son's legacy drives?
My son has decided that in order for honoring an event, so my daughter just graduated from high school.
Yeah.
And to honor her, he has decided he would drive to Nipton, California and back.
This is like a real life version of Desert Bus.
Yeah. Yeah. So yesterday, he and I
But
got in his car.
he doesn't take your sister with him.
No.
These legacy drives are just he drives
It's in her honor.
to commemorate something that's happened.
He's a
He
hero.
will write down in his calendar that he drove to California for the first time to celebrate in honor of his sister's graduation. And so yesterday we got in the car. He allowed me to go after a lot of battle. There was a lot of indecision, a lot of stalling.
You wanted to go?
Yeah, I wanted to go on this one. So he and I drove to magical Nipton, California, which was going to be a marijuana destination until it became legal everywhere. And now there's no reason to drive out to the desert in Nipton. But it's a lovely town. We've got a bunch of art display and teepees, and everything was closed when we got there.
What are the teepees?
You can go and camp because it was going to be a marijuana destination, and because the skies are quite dark. They
Are the skies open?
the skies are open in Nipton because of the lack of lights in the town. So it's a very good place to go watch stars. And so you can go and rent a teepee and camp out and watch stars while you're there. But we drove out. They have a large ceramic octopus out in front of the town. Sent a picture of that to Rich Ross. and stood around. There's a train track through the middle of town. Wait until a train went by, saw a train, and then drove back. And this is, he's very excited when we get back into the driveway because his odometer number now is a palindrome.
Oh.
Yeah, 49,994 miles.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, never drive
Yeah.
again.
Exactly.
And he did all the driving?
He did all the driving.
And did you just sit there and listen to Annie?
No, he doesn't want to listen to Annie. Well, you met my son. He can talk a little bit, as you've discovered. So yeah, we spent the time hearing about how the pyramids are actually in the edge of Cairo, right there in town, and how at the time that they were built, they were probably also at the edge of a town. So we talked about that a lot.
You know that Tim Jennison, who we did the movie Tim's Vermeer, who discovered that Vermeer was most likely using a device and was doing something more like photographs than he was paintings. We did a whole movie about that. Tim also has a theory on the pyramids.
Really?
He has a way they were built that is different than what other people think. And maybe when he's done with his painting, Jag, he may build a pyramid.
You're kidding.
No.
What painting number is he on now?
Well, he was supposed to do one painting, but now he just will not stop. He's now at Caravaggio, and he's going into other masters and how they used different devices. So he's gone mad. He also had COVID-19, and he kicked it, but that slowed him down a little bit.
Right. He is the closest thing to Tony Stark the world has in reality.
Yes.
You know, he has he'll fly a helicopter to work.
I was watching the Bill Gates documentary, and there were many things that I felt were similar between Bill Gates and I. The only thing that was dissimilar was the subject to which we applied our talents.
So Bill Gates was not in a dragon suit?
He was not. He was not in a dragon outfit at any point during that documentary. But he did drink a lot of Diet Coke. Every time you saw him, there was a Diet Coke next to him. And the other day, we do a live stream on Twitch. And the other day we were doing an escape room, a remote escape room. And we were having a lot of problems with the remote escape room until Alex, who operates the incredibly overcomplicated equipment we have, we were 10 minutes away from failing. And Alex threw me a packet of Jaffa cakes, which is an English, it's actually a cake, because the difference between a cake and a biscuit is if you leave a cake out, it will go stale. And if you leave a biscuit out, it will not go stale. So a difference between cakes and cookies, I guess. Anyway, he threw me a packet of these Jaffa cakes, which is like a sponge with orange jelly, all covered in chocolate. And I ate the entire packet, all 10 of them, and I solved every single puzzle in that escape room in about 4 minutes, and we ended with 5 minutes to spare. And I was like, you see, I'm just like Bill Gates.
Now, when Bill Gates drinks Diet Coke,
Yes.
he could think to himself, I could buy the Diet Coke company,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is Coca-Cola worth? Is it worth more than Bill Gates has?
Probably not.
It's
That's a tough
it's
question.
definitely not. Let's find out. Should we find out?
Yeah, find out.
Okay. How much is this is how I type. I talk aloud. How much is Coca-Cola?
83 billion.
Okay, it was quicker. Ready Rich is quicker. Yeah. So Billy, as we call each other, Billy could buy Coke and have change.
So Bill Gates thinks I'm crazy and thinks I'm dangerous, I believe. He thinks I'm dangerous and crazy. At the earliest TED Talks, when they were first starting, there were only like 150 people that went.
Everybody was still named Ted.
Yeah. Bill and I were both, this is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Bill and I were both at the TED Talks. And I thought it would be funny when he made a reference to yell at him, you stupid motherfucker. when we were in it. I was joking around, but his reaction to my joking around was one of fear as opposed to mirth. I was looking for mirth. I received fear. So I believe all these years later, if Bill Gates ever thinks about me, he thinks about me as a scary big man who yelled at him.
Well, I have a new hope now. And the new hope is that in a few years to come, but not enough that Bill Gates is dead, but in a few years, they do a 3-part documentary on me. And during that documentary, I'm there with my packet of Jaffa cakes by the side of me, talking about my career and how I'm focusing these days on solving the world's problems, like escape rooms problems.
Yeah,
And
same
Bill
thing.
Gates goes, me and Piff, we're really not that dissimilar.
You should redo the Bill Gates one shot for shot, except you in
Exactly.
the Bill Gates slot.
And then he gets in touch with me because he can do that. I can't get in touch with Bill Gates, but he can get in touch with me. And when he calls me, I'll be like, hey, Bill, you know what? You misjudged somebody. Penn. He was looking for mirth from that response. And
Well,
then
here's the thing.
I'll arrange a dinner party between me, you, and Bill, and we'll all be BFFs.
When I first got on the internet, it wasn't even the internet. It was DARPANet. It was still Defense Department. And Steve Jobs got me on. And as far as I could tell, the only people who were on sending emails were Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and me. So, those dull emails you send, what'd you have for breakfast? That's what I would send to Bill Gates. I don't know, I had some toast. How are you doing this morning? That was my interaction with Bill Gates.
He
and
would
Steve
reply
Jobs.
to you?
Yes, we were the only ones that had email. I mean, there were
Still.
thousands of people.
I understand you were the only one.
billions.
But even still, he's still Bill Gates. He's still busy. He's like, yeah, what I have for breakfast? I don't know. I'm in the middle of inventing Microsoft.
Malaria.
Yeah, malaria.
He was, we would, I mean, it was silly. They were trying to teach me how great email was, so they would write me little silly emails. Like you would when you're trying to teach your father to get on email.
Maybe if they hadn't worried about that, they would have got a bit further on the other issues facing them.
Maybe they would have had more success in their lives.
Yeah. I like the fact that everyone is afraid of Bill Gates, and the only person Bill Gates is afraid of is you.
Yeah, it was, well, we were friendly. And then it was just, what he had done was he had taken one of our tricks, card tricks, and he had done a version of it, at a talk that he gave. Okay? I taught him this trick. He did a talk, and I went up with him with a big crowd of people and said, "Listen, motherfucker, are you stealing our material?
Oh, God.
Are you stealing our material?" And loomed over him and threatened him. And he went, "No, you told me." Okay.
I think,
then I went,
oh my God.
I'm just joking, Bill. No big deal. And he went, no, I'm sorry. Listen,
That was what bonded you and I, was the first time you went out. It was just me and you shouting at each other.
Right. Well, see, imagine if you hadn't shouted back, but just cowered.
Well, that was, but yeah, my girlfriend at the time was very much not a fan, because she was like, "Why is he shouting?"
Well, what was I reprimanding her for?
She didn't, because there was mint choc chip ice cream on the menu.
All right.
And she said, "Oh, I love mint choc chip ice cream." And you said, "I hate it." And she said, I can't remember what she said. She said something like, I don't like anyone who doesn't like mint choc chip ice cream. And you said, "I don't like mint choc chip ice cream, and fuck you." And she never really had anyone just like say "fuck you."
Is this the same girl with the second sip of glass of wine there?
No, different one.
Okay.
But we're just not used to people like actually saying their feelings in England. And
well, that wasn't my feelings.
Well,
I mean, I don't have any opinion on mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Because we're not used to it, we have no idea. We Bill Gates it. We have got no frame of reference. We just go, okay, I guess fuck me then. But it was funny because I was on the floor laughing at the time. It was the same time that the restaurant, it was the Ivy in London, and I had an out-of-body experience because carved onto the wall was the word Piff.
Well, that's not true.
Well, that's factually correct. So
it's not factually
It says I have the photos to prove it.
You have a photo that does not look like the word Piff. He took a photo of random scratches in the side of a wall that he says spells Piff, and it just doesn't. It's as simple as that.
The sky is open and the wall says Piff. Okay.
The wall says Piff. Here we go. I want to talk to you about Blinkist. Do you know about Blinkist, Piff?
Yeah, I subscribe to that out of my own volition.
Yeah. With our ever-changing routines, there's never been a better time to learn something new. With thousands of options available, finding the best way to learn can be challenging. My recommendation is an app called Blinkist. Blinkist is unique and powerful. It works on your phone, your tablet, or your web browser. Blinkist gives you the best key takeaways, the need-to-know information from over 3,000 nonfiction bestsellers in over 27 categories. Blinkist condenses them down into blinks, which you can read or listen to in just 15 minutes. And now Blink offers its members even more, including exclusive original podcasts from top authors and creative thinkers. You still get access to the entire Blinkist library with your membership, and now you can also dive deeper into full-length nonfiction audiobooks at a special discounted price. Over 14 million people use Blinkist to deepen their knowledge in topics spanning self-improvement, personal growth, management, leadership, mindfulness, happiness, and more. I just love it, because it gives me everything I'm going to remember 2 weeks later if I read the whole book. Blinkist gives me all the really important parts. When I'm driving, I love it. When I'm sitting around, I love it. I use it when I'm juggling.
Wait, when you're driving, what, it reads to you, does it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Right now we have The Barefoot Investor by Scott Pape, I guess. Everything is Fucked, a book about hope. Sapiens, A Brief History of Mankind. You can't get a better book than that. Becoming by Michelle Obama. Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. And we've got Outgrowing God by Dawkins. Hacking Darwin by Jamie Metzel. Future of Capitalism. These are really good. Right now, Blinkist has a special office just for our audience. Go to Blinkist.com/Penn to start your free 7-day trial and get 25% off a Blinkist premium membership and get up to 65% off audiobooks, yours to keep forever. That's Blinkist, spelled Blinkist, Blinkist.com/PENN. That's Blinkist.com/Penn. It's really a great thing. It's a great thing.
Have you seen how Bill Gates reads books?
How does he read books?
He just does this, like flicks through them, like he's stroking a dog. And
Is that true?
Yeah, it's on a documentary. He's just like this.
So it has to be true.
Has to be true. Why else would they film it? He just and it's amazing. And he's got a tote bag full of books. I'm going to start carrying a tote bag full of books around.
Couldn't he have some of the employees of the Coca-Cola company, after he bought them, carry the books for him?
Like me, he's a humble man. He flies in on a seaplane with his tote full of books.
Speaking of humble men, another milestone in civilization has been accomplished. On iTunes now, there is the Stooges Complete Collection. 190 shorts, all restored, all with great sound. And I bought that for $30. And I have 190 Three Stooges shorts. And at the end of a tough, difficult day, my children come into the home theater and there's Dad watching the Stooges. And my son said, what are you doing, Dad? I said, I'll tell you, these guys are knuckleheads. They're knuckleheads, Z. And Z watched for like 2 or 3 minutes and he was done. But I was watching episode 4, I think, which is called Three Little Pigskins and features Lucille Ball.
Oh, nice.
Just as sexy as anybody could possibly be.
She was something. Really
funny. The women in those shows are incredible, which I didn't notice when I was a child. Now, being from England, Piff, are you aware of the Three Stooges much at all?
No, I'm aware of them, but I have not watched their work, and I've also not watched Laurel and Hardy, and I've also purchased but not watched much of the Marx Brothers.
Well, I would say Marx Brothers are, if you watch Duck Soup and Night at the Opera, they're really great. The Stooges are more a concept than movies. And Laurel and Hardy I never really liked. And I never liked Charlie Chaplin. But the Stooges are just total comfort for me. Although I don't know if I could recommend them for you. Do you watch Stooges a lot, Godot?
I don't watch it a lot. I watch it every now and then when it's on. You know what I mean? But it's nostalgia for me.
Well, I watch it when it's on, and it's on because I have 190
episodes. You have a way to run it, yeah.
And boy, it's so creepy to see them really high quality because it looks like they're like alive now. You know, it's 1934.
Oh, no.
And also what you really realize, the big difference in movies in 1934 and in 2020 is teeth. Boy, people's teeth were bad making movies in 1934.
Yeah.
Crooked and discolored teeth were.
My teeth are a little discolored, but they're reasonably straight.
Yeah. Did you have orthodontia?
Me? No. I've had some fillings and that's it. How about you,
Godot? Orthodontia?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. You also have veneers, right?
I have veneers as well, yes.
Have you got veneers?
And how about you? I do not. These are how they grew out of my head. No orthodontia, no veneers.
Originals.
And how about you, Ready Rich?
Orthodontia in high school.
And did it help you?
Yes.
Good. My children both have orthodontia going on.
Yeah.
And I guess they just have that for years, and then they're happy with it, right? They're glad they did.
My kids seemed fine with it. I remember it being painful and awful and unpleasant, and they just breezed right through it like it's nothing.
They point out to me that it's awful, but rarely.
Right. I remember it being just bad the whole damn time for 2 years, and the kids don't seem to notice it at all.
My orthodontist had the sexiest assistants, and I was in high school.
So you were happy with that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I will tell you, there seems to be certain jobs that attract attractive people. One of the jobs, and I'm telling you this because you have something to look forward to, all three of you, people who deal with hearing aids seem to be very attractive people. Very attractive people. A friend of mine who got hearing aids recently, who doesn't want me to say his name because he conceals it, sent me a picture of his audiologist in a bikini.
How do you get a picture of your audiologist in a bikini?
See, this is what we're going to talk about next.
I want to learn this. I need to learn.
Social media. Right? He found his audiologist on Facebook.
Oh,
and there's
God.
a picture of her in a bikini.
Oh, no.
So you have creepy old guys who you did hearing tests for downloading the picture of you in a bikini when you're an audiologist.
Oh, no. This is why the lockdown has got me so down. Because now, up until this point, I've really got away with being able to perform live and not engage very much with social media. And now it's all about having to engage with it. Everyone I know who engages with it, it just makes them miserable.
I got off Facebook and Twitter, and I always hasten to add this. Any question you ask me on Twitter, the answer you get is sincerely from me.
Right.
I have someone that goes through it, finds the questions, sends them to me once a day, and I answer all of them. So that's all real. But I don't read any of Twitter. And I am not on Facebook at all. And it is the greatest decision I ever made. It's just wonderful. Just wonderful.
I am absolutely driven by compulsive behavior. As we have found out from my many years of drinking, or, the last couple of years, it was I'm going to eat my pain away. Or, and when it comes to social media, it's the same thing. It's just like I will just get hypnotized into it for hours on end. I hate it.
And I was talking to my friend Phil Proctor, who was talking about how, what do you do about children in using social media? And I was saying, no, the question is, I need to ask them how to use social media, because they know how to go to absurd sites like flat earth sites and watch them and take the information in and then shrug it off. Moxie will watch conspiracy theories, take it in, spew it back, and then go, yeah, it's not true, though. Now, when I used to encounter things that weren't true, I would bang against it. I would kung fu, and she Tai Chi's. This crazy shit comes and it just kind of goes, whoa, and dodges it. Whoa, dodges it. And it's also, there's all this stuff of saying, tell your children if they do, anything on the web, it'll stay forever. But what those people don't realize is that things are going to change. It's like when you were telling people in the 90s, or the 80s, you can't get tattoos because you won't be able to get a job. Nobody knew that the employers were all going to have tattoos in the future. We will have someone on the Supreme Court within 30 years that has a nude picture on the web. It's just things are changing very, very quickly. So you have to be careful. It's not like, don't play in a rock and roll band. No one will ever take rock and roll seriously. That can change. And social media is going to be that way. But, my children would not consider Facebook. That's for, grandparents.
Right.
Just old people do Facebook and Twitter too. They've moved on to all sorts of things. Like, TikTok. My daughter does, 15 TikTok videos a day.
I'm on TikTok under Piff.
Are you?
Yeah.
Piff Talk?
Piff Talk.
And what do you do on that?
I think we did like 3 or 4 videos. One went viral, one blew up.
And what were you doing?
There was a video where people would be like, "Oh, the toilet's smoking," and then like they would go into the toilet and they'd put toilet rolls on top of the toilet, and then like a toilet roll coming out like it was smoking. And I did that, but I put a smoke machine in the toilet roll, so the toilet was smoking. And Jade was like, "Yeah," I was like, "Jade, the toilet's smoking." She was like, "Whatever." And then I revealed the toilet was actually smoking, and that was the end of the video. It was some of my greatest work. Some of my greatest work.
Did you see Bill Gates' TikTok video?
Was it him with a Diet Coke?
Gates talk.
Read it.
But you know, this latest Trump rally that did not go as well as he'd hoped.
Great.
TikTok is taking credit for having blown up TikTok is a Chinese company. So you've got
two things are taking credit. You know this?
Well, tell me.
TikTok and K-pop stans.
K-pop, yeah.
Yeah. And we had a brush with K-pop. There was a viral thing on Twitter, I think, where it was a K-pop singer's legs, and you would put your torso in it and pretend like they were your legs. And we did that, and it went crazy. It was like our biggest ever post on Twitter, thanks to K-pop stans. So they helped Piff the Magic Dragon, but they hindered Donald Trump.
Right, but here's the thing. Donald Trump elicits help from Russia to help his campaign. And then the other side elicits help from China to help their campaign. It's just, it's TikTok against Putin. That's what the next election is. The next election is not Biden versus Trump. It is TikTok versus Putin.
That's also on Tournament of Laughs.
Yes. God, I wish. It will be soon. It absolutely will be.
But it's just, of course, I mean, TikTok didn't make any difference because having 1 million reservations, all it did was change the size of the outdoor area they didn't use. He still had the same number of people show up. They weren't told not to show up because there were 1 million people. But it was.
No, he didn't fill the top though.
Right. Or the back.
Or the back.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying TikTok had nothing to do with that.
Right.
The same number of people were going to show up anyway.
I understand. Yes. Yeah.
So all they did was, the preparation may have been they may have been more excited than they should have been. And he spent 14 minutes talking about drinking water and walking down a ramp. Just insane. And we also don't know if this is going to be still a super spreader event. Right. Because even though they had room to spread out, they didn't.
Yeah. Now I've been to the Vegas Strip a couple of times. I was doing I did some press thing where I was playing a slot machine, and I was in my mask and zero people were in their masks. It's strange
and what's
time.
bothersome is the mask is not for you. The mask is for other people.
Right.
So you were protecting others and they weren't protecting you.
Right. Yeah, it's strange.
Sucker.
Yes, sucker.
Now, have you been to any restaurants or anything? What's the most dangerous thing you've done, Piff, during this lockdown?
The most dangerous thing, I don't know, and none of us know because I've been to a supermarket. Mm-hmm. Everywhere we've been, we've followed these social distancing protocols. But
if you said you went to a restaurant?
I've been to a restaurant. Yeah.
What'd you do? Tell me about this.
I ate food. What do you mean?
Outdoors? Outdoors?
Indoors. The restaurant was indoors. But
isn't that dangerous?
Well, there is a guideline in place that we are following. Now obviously, I'm in no way connected with the science here, but we've got the face masks on. We're going in. We're not
Well,
touching.
you can't eat with a face mask on.
No, you just like stick it under.
Yeah, horses do it. It's a feedback.
And what kind of food were you eating?
It was my birthday celebration. I was eating steak. No, lamb chops.
And Gudo,
Yes.
what's the most dangerous thing you've done? What have you
Walmart. I've been to Walmart to go shopping for food. But
Ready,
masks
Rich?
and spray.
I quit Walmart and joined Costco.
Oh, Costco's pretty safe though, isn't it? Because I see lots of videos of them shouting at people to put
That's
masks
why I
on.
joined. They're a million miles away from me, but I go anyway.
We do Walmart grocery deliveries now, so we just order for 4 or 5 days in a row, and they bring them over the next morning and drop.
And
them.
this is just going to go forever, isn't it? There's no.
It's going to go forever.
And then part of the country will open up and just keep doing this, and they'll just keep getting sicker. And the other part of the country will not open up and just keep getting poorer. So it'll be eventually the poor versus the sick.
Right.
And the poor will be backed by China, and the sick will be backed by Putin.
And they'll be on TBS Sunday night, 10 p.m.
The tournament of laughs. We are booked, by the way, for from August all the way through the end of the year every weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm booked, but do you pay any attention to your schedule these days?
None.
No.
I don't think any of it will happen.
Yeah, I'm booked, I think July onwards.
Really.
Yeah.
At comedy clubs.
Comedy clubs, theaters, casinos, a whole bunch of stuff. But every time it gets close to one, they go, hey, turns out there's a global pandemic, so we're going to have to reschedule.
Now, do you have a whole show without any audience participation now? In your head, I mean?
Yeah, but it's pretty easy for me because all I do is take the objects. I would do the same show. Instead of having the audience member come up, I would get them to put their object in a Ziploc bag and get it to me without leaving their seat, and then do everything I wanted to, and then give it back, and then they can, with rubber gloves. Yeah, so I don't think it'd be much different, but I don't think we'll have the opportunity to find out how the show will be because there will not be a show. There won't be a show. But I'm going to have to do virtual shows, and every time I watch them, I get so depressed. Like other people's shows, I get so depressed, I literally have to go to bed for 3 hours.
Yeah. The virtual shows are very depressing.
They are incredibly depressing. I cannot
We
believe.
won't say any names, but have you
No.
watched any Godot?
I saw Matt Kings and enjoyed it.
Oh, Matt Kings. I'm eager to see Matt Kings.
We will say that we haven't seen Matt Kings. That's very
Right.
important for us to say.
I did enjoy it, and it was good. Max got.
Did you
some
see
nice
a
stuff.
rehearsal or a real show?
No, a real show. I believe it was a real. I mean, it was mostly people we knew, so I don't know. Maybe it's a rehearsal. I guess if I'm watching with Mike Weatherford, it's probably a rehearsal.
And a good tricks?
Yeah, good tricks, fun stuff. Nice. It's really nice, and he's doing it in his home, and it feels
He's
good.
going room to room. I talked to Mac about it.
Yeah, and it's a nice structure. It's working well. And I saw it 2 weeks ago, so it's probably better now even. So
Yeah. So I think you could probably do a good virtual show, Piff.
Well,
And I should also
I think-
probably say that Fool Us has started up.
Yes.
Fool Us is back on. And Piff will appear this year, and you are great in it. We'll talk about it when it comes out.
I would
I'll
love
have
to.
you back on.
Teller's going to come on my podcast when it comes out.
Is he really?
Yes, I'm terrified.
Don't ask him what he thinks of you.
I'm writing something about that I'm going to send to him.
I'm not one to quote Fleetwood Mac, but I will quote them now. Don't ask me what I think of you. I might not give the answer that you want me to.
I love him so much.
He's the greatest.
It's the greatest.
He's the greatest. We've been writing great stuff.
Yeah.
We have a new bit called Dr. Teller's New Hands.
Have you ever had that when you get to know somebody and the more you like them, the less you want to be around them? Have you ever had that?
Is that Teller?
That's Teller.
Yeah.
It's like, I just go, oh, I'm going to say something really. Whereas you and I know that, I can just shout at you and you shout at me.
Yeah. The problem with Teller, in a simple sentence, is he is thoughtful.
Right.
And there's no reason to be around people who are thoughtful. Because it carries with it the responsibility that you might want to be a little thoughtful.
Right.
Or you might want to do what he says.
Yes.
It's really hard to do either.
That's the other thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it is Father's Day, and I have so much food that is normally off the agenda for me. I'm going to have grilled cheese and some spaghetti.
Grilled cheese is the greatest.
Well, grilled vegan cheese, I should add. I'm going to have some spaghetti and fake meatballs, vegan meatballs. And I'm going to have some vegan ice cream. And I'm going to just have myself a grand old time. Oh, you know what else I'm going to have? I'm going to have one of my favorite foods that no one knows about is a tuna dip. My mother used to make tuna dip with potato chips and tuna dip. And the tuna dip is like tuna and cream cheese and sour cream that you dip into. Now, I don't eat tuna, but there's a great product, my favorite product in the world. I love the name of it, and I love what it is, chickpea of the sea. And it is a false tuna, chickpea of the sea. So I'm going to have tuna dip with potato chips. Try some chickpea of the sea. Yeah. You make a tuna salad sandwich with chickpea of the sea and some veganese, right, and you will just love it.
I did the Beyond Meat bratwurst this week. That was really good as well.
Yeah. And we did the carrot hot dogs. You're one of the carrot hot dogs.
Oh, my God. Yeah. The carrot hot dogs, that was a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
Slowly, we're fixing the foods that I love. I love pizza, burgers, and hot dogs. Those are my undoing. And the carrot hot dogs absolutely fix that.
Yeah. Carrot hot dogs are really good. Really, really good. One of the first times we ever went out, Piff, we had a really nice hamburger at that place at the Cosmo, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the name of that place?
Holstein's.
Holstein's, yeah. We went there and had big, fat hamburgers and got to be friends, got to know each other. After we were at the Ivy, and I angered your girlfriend by telling her she could fuck her mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Yes, but had you not done that, I may never have found Jade and things.
That's true.
So
Jade owes me a big thank you.
Jade owes you a big thank you. She does. She owes you a big bowl of mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Yes, she sure does. But okay, well, I'm going to call that. What else? Watch Fool Us, please, on the CW. And watch Tournament of Laughs with Piff on TBS, right?
Yeah.
And
if I'm still in it.
And if you want me to talk to you in any way, you can always go to cameo.com. Both Piff and I are on cameo.com.
Yeah.
So enjoy that. I've been enjoying doing those a lot. Did a lot of Father's Day cameos and love doing them. So I've been digging that. And that was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
Cha-cha-cha.
And to our listening
You become naked.
nature sang and round us rang the music of the street.
Piff and Bill Gates.
Brothers
Almost
in arms.
indistinguishable, one from the other.
Essentially the same, just born into two different situations.
Well, certainly, Bill Gates understands that where you're born makes a big difference. That's one of the ways he's giving back to poor dragons born in London. Or you were born in London, right? Not Hong Kong?
London, yes, where the Jaffa cakes are from.
Yeah. We love you.